So, hello and welcome back to Popcorn Chat. I'm here again with another guest, and this week I'm here with Aaron. How you doing, Aaron?
I'm good. Well, I haven't been great the last few days because I've unfortunately been struck by the COVID. But I feel a lot better today. I'm just glad we weren't recording this the other day because I sounded like a mixture of Barry White and Chancellor Palpatine. It was not great. But for what it is, I'm okay today.
That's good. I'm glad to hear you're feeling a bit better this time of filming. Is there anything that you've been watching this week, Aaron, that you want to sort of praise or anything?
Um, I've not watched too much stuff. I've been watching a few things here and there because obviously, I've been at home. I haven't been
Yeah,
anywhere thanks to the thing. I watched *Malignant* for the first time, and
nice.
absolutely loved it because I wanted to see it last year but missed it in the cinema. And I watched it, and I didn't know where it was going, and it just gets more and more insane as it goes on. And I just
Hmm.
loved everything it just threw at the screen. I was like, I am loving every minute of this.
Yeah,
Um,
it's great.
I also watched Short Term 12 by Daniel Destin. I can never get his name right, but the
I
guy who
don't know
made
that one.
Shang-Chi.
Okay,
Um, it it's an indie film from 2013, and I think it's what made got Brie Larson, Rami Malek, and Lakeith Stanfield into gave them popularity, and it is a
okay.
really good little drama.
That
Like, it's
sounds like a
only an
good
hour and a
cast.
half. Yeah, like it's only an hour and a half, but it just works. It's one of those films where I can't sum up what I like about it, but it just works.
Okay, I'll add it to the list.
It is really good.
Nice. Yeah, some good picks there. I've seen *Malignant*. I loved that film. I was quite late to it. I saw it after it came out as well, and
Hmm.
I was surprised at how good it was. Like, I loved the cinematography in it. I thought it was amazing. Some of it
Hmm.
I found a bit hilarious. Like, I was laughing at
Oh
certain
yeah.
moments. I won't go into it, but like it's yeah, it was kind of really really good horror. But
Hmm.
then also a little bit comical at the time. But I
Oh
would go
yeah.
back and watch it again, 100%.
Oh yeah, I absolutely love it when a filmmaker just goes for it, no matter what genre or whatever it is they're doing. If a director just goes for it in every sense, and
Yeah,
James Wan did that,
yeah.
I'm fully on board. And *Malignant* just didn't disappoint. I see what you mean by it being quite funny, because I'm just thinking of a couple scenes in my head where it just
Mm.
goes really over the top, and I just like, yeah, that's meant to be funny, but you could, yeah, it's just good. It's just good film.
Yes, yeah, I do recommend people check it out if they haven't already. So thank you for coming on today, Aaron. We're gonna just chat through a few questions. I did it previously with Brad from Let's Be with Brad, so I'm gonna ask you similar sort of questions as I did
Mhm.
for him. So I guess to start off, really, my sort of first question to you is, what made you want to start doing film reviews on YouTube?
Well, I have to think back because I've been doing. I've started my YouTube channel in 2015, I think. So I've been doing it for quite a long time. I mean, longer than I always think I'd have been, because I'm like, oh, I've only been doing it a couple of years, and then I think back and I'm like, oh, blimey, it's been longer.
Hmm.
But my main a lot of people say this, but my main inspiration for starting it was seeing Chris Stuckman do what he does.
Yeah.
Um, and around about the end of secondary school for me, that was when I started to really get into film. I think it was when I watched Inception for the first time, and I was like, I this is something I want to do and to look at more in depth.
Hmm.
Then after watching what Chris Stuckman did and Jeremy Johns did, I was like, okay, there is a way for me to do this. So when I started college, I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. Um, and it was mainly just expressing my love for film because, no offense to my friends, but I'm the only one that takes like film seriously, or I'm the only one that
Yeah.
really loves it, and I don't really have anyone in my own personal life to really talk to that
Hmm.
talk about that in that sense. So I wanted a way to kind of get my thoughts and feelings out there, and I thought the YouTube channel was the best way to do it. And obviously my channel's kind of evolved over the years because it started off with just regular reviews and I got comfortable doing that. But now I do kind of a variety of different things. I don't quite know what exactly my channel is anymore, but I do a variety of different things, mostly video essay stuff. But I don't know, it took me a while to find the format that I'm comfortable with.
Mm.
But that is the main reason that I got into it because I just wanted a platform to be able to say what I wanted to say and to just kind of get my thoughts out there because I was kind of all pent up in my brain. I was like, I want to talk about this
Yeah.
film.
No, yeah, that's a great reason to do it. I mean, a lot of people I know have sort of boosted their sort of either it's Instagram or Twitter and YouTube have done
Mm,
it through like
yeah,
lockdown. I know I sort of made my separate YouTube channel for film reviews in lockdown, but it's interesting, like you said about how in I guess in your sort of immediate life, there's people that don't necessarily take film criticism to that level as you do. I completely agree.
yeah,
Like my friends are so much more like casual watchers. They might go and
mm,
watch like the Marvel films, and that's a
yeah,
push, and that's all they'll watch. But if I want to go watch like an indie film, I probably have to go and watch it by myself, or I drag my mum. She quite likes an indie film, so I go and take her to
mm,
see like the A24 films. So I think yeah, jumping online is a great place to. It's like, oh, actually, there are other people that
mm,
like what I like and discuss in films. So having that kind of analytical side is great. You sort of touched on, Aaron, about how you do different things on your channel. It's not just film reviews, you do essays as well. And also TV reviews. So what would you say is like your favorite out of like those sort of types of videos? What do you enjoy making most?
Um, it's a weird one because when I started doing just regular film reviews, kind of like what you do, where it's like a new release comes out, you review that.
Yeah.
Initially, I did really enjoy doing that, but I think the reason I shifted into um maybe not the stereotypical type of movie reviews is because I was finding it hard to try and keep up with everything coming out because there's definitely that sense of, oh, this new thing's released, you have to kind of get a review out as soon
Yeah.
as possible. um and I was having trouble because even though I've been doing it since 2015, I'm still like I'm not even at 1,000 subscribers yet, so it was a bit. I was finding it a bit of a struggle trying to keep up with everything that everyone wants you to do,
Hmm.
plus trying to review everything that matters. So by moving into like video essays or just general random videos about film, it opened up a bit more creative freedom for me, and I think that's what I enjoy about where my channel is at now because I can talk about any film I want rather than just having to talk about whatever's new. Sometimes I might talk about a new film, like I did a video on the Batman. I think that is the last video I did. Um, because I loved it so much and wanted to
Mm.
talk about it and get a specific point across. But by having that creative freedom, just being able to talk about any film rather than the current stuff, I I find that a bit more rewarding, and it's been able. I feel like even the people watching my videos have noticed that by me talking about films that you don't usually hear about, like Columbus from 2017 or other films that might have gone under the radar.
Mm.
It think people can see from that because they've done quite well and people can see through those videos. It's like, okay, this guy really cares about that film and I really like that film too. And again, it's that whole thing of starting that conversation up again. And I wasn't quite getting that with the previous type of videos, but with these types of videos there is more conversation coming from them,
Hmm.
and I quite like that. um, but yeah, general video essays, they can be a pain to edit, but
Yep.
the end product is quite rewarding, I would say.
So yes, so you talk about there, Aaron, about how you sort of go for those more niche films, and I think
Yeah.
that's maybe what you sort of found with your channel over the years is like you don't always have to do those recent film reviews. Sometimes that can get lost, if anything. If people are searching the Batman review or whatever,
Mm,
you're going to come up with those Chris Stuckmans and hire people, with more subscribers. But if you're doing something a lot more niche that maybe someone's looking for, like I watched a film the other week called Spring, which came out in
mm,
2015. I was like, and I watched some video essays about it afterwards. And there's not that many, but if someone is searching for a film like Columbus, like you said, and they come across your channel, like that's so much more niche and might get more people in to watch your stuff and come back again and again. So I guess like, yeah, it's finding what feels right for you and then what other people want
Yeah.
to watch from your channel as well.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And definitely by having that freedom to talk about what you want to talk about, again, you're not restricted by anything.
Hmm.
Again, it kind of gives me the freedom to kind of, if I want to do a video talking about concert films, because not many people talk about that, I can
Yeah,
do it. Hence why I did it last year. Or if I just want to do a
it's a very
video
good
about
topic actually.
yeah, because I was scrolling through YouTube and I was like, no one talks about them as if they're like legitimate films.
Are
So I
we
thought,
talking like Jonas Brothers in concert, the Glee,
yeah,
that sort of stuff?
what are the ones that I covered in the video? I cover a lot of the classic ones like Talking Heads, Stop Making Sense, which
Hmm.
like that is one of the few examples that is regarded as like a great classic film other than a great concert documentary film.
Yeah.
And I wanted to kind of do a video that just covers that as a whole. So it kind of covers the whole spectrum from Rolling Stones all the way to Katy Perry and Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Um, because not many people who watch my channel probably know this, but I love my music just as much as I love my films. So that was also a good video to kind of talk about both, because I
Mm.
don't get a chance to talk about music as much on my channel. So by doing that video, I was like, okay, I can try and squeeze in some of my favorite artists, whether it's relevant or not, just because of the content matter. Um, but yeah, but having that creative freedom, it doesn't feel as restrictive. And if I want to do like a video on a recent release, like
Hmm.
the one I did on Matrix Resurrections, I don't have to be beholden to getting it out on time, because I
Yeah.
didn't see the film till after everyone else had seen it. I felt more comfortable releasing it later because there wasn't like that, again, that restriction of like, oh, I have to get it out as soon as possible so it's more relevant. And by releasing it later, I could take my time with it a bit more.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes like your opinion might change. Like you might just come out of the
Mm.
cinema and be like, "Oh yeah, that was amazing," but then you sit on it, and you're like, actually, after
Mm.
like I don't know, Spider-Man for example, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's amazing," what they did, but actually, you sit
Yeah.
on it and like, oh, was it really? Was the script great? Was the story great? So I
Mm.
think sometimes giving it time, even for a modern release, it can be pretty handy.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. That's one thing I did also have issue with when I was doing the traditional sort of reviews, is that I got the review out really quickly and I might have not liked the film or liked the film. But then like a month later I'll be like, oh, but I actually did really like it. And you can't go back and
Yeah,
you
it's there
can't
on
go
the
in the
internet.
comments. Yeah, you can't go in the comments and go, actually guys, I didn't want to give it like a 4 out of 10. I want to give it an 8.
Yeah.
You can't correct it because it's already out there. Whereas by not, because I have that control of, oh, if I don't make a video about it, no one's gonna know that my opinion on it
Hmm.
until I say it. It's like last year I saw Drive My Car,
I
and
still
when
need
I
to see
first
that.
it this is a really good example of a film that when I watched it I was like, that's pretty decent,
Hmm.
but I didn't get the love that everyone else was getting. After about a couple weeks, and I'd let it sit with me, I was like, okay, I get it. That was pretty damn good. I really want to. The first thing I wanted to do was watch it again,
Mm.
um, which is why I'll be taking to Mubi at the start of April when it goes on
Yeah,
there,
definitely.
because I immediately want to rewatch it again and try and take it in more now that I know what to expect. But it is a really good film, and that is one of the best recent examples I have of like it kind of sat on me more over time. And I've had that with quite a few films recently, but that is the most prominent one I've had.
Oh yeah, amazing. Yeah, I mean, it's getting a lot of notice at the sort of award season. So I'm excited
Mm,
to check that one out. Like I said, when it comes
yeah,
out on Mubi, that's going to be a
yeah.
good one
I
to
was so
watch.
happy when it won the BAFTA for Best International Film. I was so happy.
Yeah, that's great. It was great to see a lot more international cinema as well coming
Mm.
into the mainstream.
Oh yeah.
Um, So my next question for you, Aaron, is how do you approach a bad film that you're going to review? So in your opinion, like it's bad, you've sat on
Mm.
it or whatever. How do you approach filming that video?
Um, it's a weird one because 9 out of 10 times when I used to do my regular reviews, it was because I know like a lot of people who do film talk on YouTube will probably agree that bad films are the most fun ones to talk about half the time,
Yep.
because you can um, with a good film you can just, I think Brad said this actually in the video that you did with him, you can kind of just repeat the same stuff with
Yeah.
really good films, even if it is a film that you absolutely adore. You can just say the cinematography was good, the directing was good, yeah. But with a bad film you can go, right, I can
Get
I
stuck
can
in
have
there.
I can have fun with this. And nine
Yeah.
out of ten times when I used to do reviews for really bad films, I would take that opportunity to try and be fun with it and try and do like a little sketch around it, or just, because it's bad, you don't get to talk about them that often. So, I really made the most of it. And the thing I find the funniest thing about my whole channel is that my most viewed video, at like 13,000 views,
Wow.
is for this really bad film that I don't even remember. And I reviewed it back in 2017. It's got Jenna Malone in it from Donnie Darko and Hunger Games Catching Fire, and some
Right.
other guy
Yes.
whose name I can't remember. I don't know who the guy is in it, but it's called Bottom of the World.
Never heard of it.
It was a new. I mean, I don't. I hadn't heard of it until I stumbled across it in 2017 on Netflix, and was
Okay.
like, "Oh, this is a new film. Why haven't I heard of it?" So I watched it, regretted every minute of it, because the film was trying to be David Fincher and David Lynch both at the same time, but
Oh.
wasn't
Okay.
working. Um, and I just did a really half-assed review, kind of going, "This was really bad." I tried to make some jokes in there, and somehow over the years, more and more people have gone to it. And there's like a, if you look at the comment section on that one video, there is like a whole debate of people just going, "You're completely wrong. It's actually a masterpiece," or people going, "Yeah, this was horrible." And
Wow.
I still don't. It baffles me why so many people are caught up about
Are you going to
this
get
film that
cancelled, Aaron? Is this your year? You're going to get cancelled next.
I might be, and I can't go back to the comments and defend myself because I've completely forgotten everything that happened in the film. Because as soon as I watched it, I was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to remember that." So I can't go back and go, "Yeah, it might be good, but I can't remember it." Um,
Wow.
so yeah, it that one baffles me. Why that is my most viewed video at
That's
13K.
that's crazy.
I don't get
It's such a
that.
niche film as well.
Yeah, like I think when I posted it, I was the literal only person on YouTube to have reviewed
Mm,
it, which is very rare. Like, even there are some indie films or like indie horror films where like
yeah.
you'll see one or two reviews by different people. That, when I posted it, I think I was literally the only person to have reviewed it, and it shows. Because everyone's kind of swarmed on that one video and kind of gone, "Well, I want to talk about it," and I'm like, I've already forgotten about it. um, so
Wow.
yeah, I do like. I haven't talked about a bad film for a while since I've done my new style of video,
Mhm.
but now that you've brought this up, I am tempted to just make a whole video essay about like really bad films because I miss
Oh
how
my
fun they
god.
are. I
Please do. Or some you could do something for April Fools maybe or something, I don't know. You can maybe work
ah
that in.
I should do. I don't know if I'll have the time to squeeze it in, but I really am tempted now. Like do
I'm
Sharknado or something.
yeah, you like why Sharknado should have won an Oscar. Like that's the clickbait.
I love that. Oh, I might do that.
Everyone keep an eye out on Aaron's channel for the next video. Oh, okay. So the next one is what have you learnt through doing YouTube and film reviews that you wish you knew at the beginning?
um, Kind of going back to what I've already said, I feel like the thing I've learned now that is kind of the best thing that I have in my brain when doing videos is to not try. I mean, I know what I'm about to say might sound a bit contradictory, but I know there is that whole thing of trying to please people, trying to get lots of views, but at the end of the day, do whatever you feel comfortable doing, because like I said, I've been doing it for since 2015 for about 6-ish years, And it's only now that I feel comfortable with the stuff I'm producing, because there were times where I was making reviews on like a weekly basis, and I was just like, I've lost the fun in this.
Yeah.
I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it. And that's not what I started the YouTube channel for. I wanted to have fun getting my thoughts out about something that I'm really passionate about. And the fact that this new approach to videos has kind of reawoken that, I'm really happy about. And that is the best advice I can say. Just try and find, especially if someone's starting out, try and find that balance of not, don't just try and make stuff to please everyone all at once, though that is helpful, especially with subscribers and views, but do something in a way that you feel comfortable with and that works for you. Because like I said, it's taken me only until now to find a format that works, and I'm happy with the stuff that I produce. I still don't have like a structure or a format that
Yeah.
necessarily is set in place, but what I'm doing at the moment is working for me, and I'm enjoying what I do, and I'm not restricted by, oh, I have to get a video out every week. I can do videos when I want about what I want, and I don't know. I just feel like that is something more people should take into account, especially up and coming people starting like their a film related YouTube channel. Don't just do stuff because it's popular. Do stuff because you want to do it and because you're passionate about it. I feel like that is something that's kind of been forgotten
Hmm.
over the years by a lot of people, because there are tons of YouTube channels all related to film. Like it's like an ocean of film reviewers
Yeah.
out there, so you can kind of get lost in the ether. And if you do something you feel comfortable with, that's 9 out of 10 times better than trying to just jump on the bandwagon. That's just me personally, but
Yeah, definitely. I think like if you're just passionate about it and you're focused on what you enjoy, you're putting out stuff for yourself,
hmm,
the people will follow you. Like if they can see the passion within what
hmm,
you're making, I think they will come to your channel. Because like you said then, Aaron, like about doing like one video a week. I had that like driven into my head when I started doing my film channel. I sort of took it like seriously, probably like a year and a bit ago. I was like, I have to do a video a week. And
hmm,
then I like obviously, with restrictions easing and life picked up, like it's not feasible. Like I've not put a video out for like two,
hmm.
3 weeks because I've literally been busy at the weekends.
Yeah.
And I think you have to remember for a lot of us, like it is a hobby. Like it is like we're
Hmm,
not making money off this. So you have to sort of remember that, this is just a
hmm.
hobby. You can put as much effort into it, upskill yourself, network, whatever, but it is just
Yeah.
a hobby for a lot of us at the moment.
Yeah.
And remembering that balance, I would say, is key. No matter
Yeah.
what stage
No,
you're at.
I can definitely agree with that, because especially because I think in 2020, when all the lockdowns were happening, I was still doing regular reviews, and because there were the restrictions and because there wasn't as much new stuff coming out, it just made everything a lot harder, and you couldn't keep to that, oh, I want to try and get a review out every week or every couple of weeks. And it was harder to do that because there wasn't anything coming out. You could
Yeah.
get a review for Tenet out on, or something that came out. But again, i think I think that's another thing. In 2020, that's when I started reviewing stuff, I like just random films that I wanted to talk about, because
Mhm.
again there wasn't that many new releases to talk about. So I reviewed Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Xavier Dolan's Mummy,
Mhm.
just because I wanted to and because they were
Yeah.
films that I really liked, and that might have veered me to where I am now. Um, but no, I definitely get that in terms of trying to stick to a routine, but it just being a struggle.
Definitely. Yeah. Excellent. It's a bit more of a light-hearted question, I guess, Aaron. What are some of your like go-to comfort films? Like if you're feeling a bit unwell, like you are at the minute, are there any films that you're like, oh, that's a good like duvet watch kind of film?
Right. So 9 out of 10 times, if I'm not feeling great mentally or physically, I most of the time just go for a comedy, because that is
Hmm.
one of my favorite sort of genres, especially if they're done really well. Um, some of my favorite films are even comedies. Like if you stuck on Blazing Saddles, Airplane, or Monty Python and the Holy Grail, I'm just on board.
Hmm.
But there is one film I always go to if I'm feeling down or I just need a pick me up or if I just feel like it. It is The Emperor's New Groove.
Ah,
That
nice.
is probably my favorite Disney film and is probably
Wow.
one of my favorite animated film of all time because I've watched it more than anything else. I watched it to death as a kid. I I'm not ashamed to say this, but I think I can quote it back to front. Every character, every line.
Wow.
Um, I love it too much. I definitely think it's Disney's best written film because I've watched it God knows how many times and I still find it absolutely hilarious. Um, Especially everything that comes out of Kronk's mouth
Mm,
is comedy gold.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, that for me is my number one go to comfort film because no matter where I am, how I'm feeling, it's just like I could always put that on, and there's going to be a massive smile on my face every single time I watch it. And I could watch it like a million more times and still never find it boring. It's just, it's so tight, it's so good. I love that film too much.
That's a great choice. I wouldn't think anyone would pick. I mean, obviously Disney films are obviously like, especially our generation, like the '90s, noughties. Disney is what we
Mm,
sort of grew up on. I mean, my
mm.
favorite is Hercules, which is that same
That
kind
is
of
a good one.
era.
Yeah.
But obviously that's more of a musical, whereas Emperor's New Grooves
Mm,
is doesn't have any songs in, I guess, which separates it
yeah.
from it. What do you think of the second film?
I've not actually seen it. I know some people who know me well that kind of know how much I love Emperor's New Groove. They do kind of say like maybe don't check out Kronk's New Groove. It's not particularly great. Um,
So they knew who the
but
favorite character was, and they're like, let's capitalize on it. Doesn't really work,
yeah,
but
I know there was a TV series they did where they were all in a high
yes,
school for some reason, and
yeah,
I
I
remember
watched
watching
that.
yeah, I remember seeing a few episodes of that when I was a kid, and I was like, what's going on? Why is Yzma still here? But they're all in high school. I don't get what's going on. Um,
Mm,
but to be like in terms of like no matter what they do to that, that is one Disney film I do not want them to do a remake of. They should not touch that
yeah,
because the writing, the animation, the voice acting, everything about that film just works. So
yeah.
if they try to remake that, it's just also, I don't really want to see a CGI llama.
No, and you know
I
that's what they
just
would
don't want to see
do.
that.
They wouldn't even
Yeah,
put a real llama in it.
they'd bring back not James Spade, David Spade, and they would just turn him into a CGI llama, and it
Yeah,
just would not work.
it wouldn't work, would it? Yeah. That's. I mean, I'm not
No,
a fan of remakes, especially Disney
no.
remakes. Just leave these things alone, please.
Yeah, I think out of all the remakes, there's been very few that I've actually liked. Maleficent was fine, but
Yeah,
none of them I've been like, wow, I need to rewatch that. Like most of them have just been like a one and done experience for me.
yeah, yeah. I saw Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast,
Mm,
Maleficent. I think I saw one of the Jungle Books. Yeah, I think I did. It
mm,
was like the CGI is good. That's it.
yeah.
That's
That's
it.
literally it.
So, talking about sort of films coming out this year, Aaron, are there any ones that you're excited for that haven't come out yet? Obviously, we've had the Batman come out. That's probably
Yeah.
the most hyped one recently. Is there anything else you're looking forward to
Oh
this
yeah.
year?
I mean, if we'd done this like 2 weeks ago, I would have said the Batman because everything about that film was I was so excited about. But in terms of what is coming out, there's a couple of new films that I've got my eye on. I think Richard Linklater's got a new film coming out called Apollo 10 and a half, which
Mm-hmm.
I think is going straight to Netflix. That looks really interesting. Um, I mean, I will happily see anything that guy does. Whether
Oh
it
yeah, me
like
too.
I love the Before trilogy, love School of Rock,
Yeah.
I love Boyhood, which for some reason gets a bit of hate now.
I still need to see
I
Boyhood. I need to prepare
it
myself and watch it, I think.
yeah, the run time is rather long, but if you can stay with it, I think it's quite a rewarding experience. But I like the look. Whenever he does an animated film, it always ends up being rather weird. So I'm intrigued to see what
Mm,
Apollo 10 and a half does. Obviously looking forward to Doctor Strange 2, because I feel like No Way Home was a good setup for the multiverse stuff. So I want to
yes.
see them try and take that and do, especially with Sam Raimi. I
Mm-hmm.
want to see them kind of take it to a new level. Um, what else is there? There was another. Hang on a minute. There was another film that I did have that I wanted to mention, but I can't.
The Norseman.
Uh,
You excited for that?
oh, I'm excited for the Northman. I think Robert Eggers has improved with each film he's done. I like The Witch. I don't love it, but
I'm
I
so
love The
happy you said
Lighthouse.
that. Everyone loves The Witch. I'm like, it was, it was okay,
Yeah, it's
but The
like I like the
Lighthouse is like much
yeah,
better.
it's like he's improved with each film because for me, the Witch was like the performances are great, the cinematography is great.
I don't know what they're saying.
Yeah, uh, but the Lighthouse, I only saw the Witch on Blu-ray, so I saw the Lighthouse at the Brighton Film Festival on a massive
Oh,
cinema screen, and I
nice.
was like, this is so good. And like, to be honest, the Lighthouse I thought was so good. I was like, where can Robert Eggers go from here?
Yeah,
Like, I genuinely don't know how
just
he
end
can
his career
perfect
there.
it. Yeah, just do two movies and then just stop. But The Northman looks like he's going in a slightly different direction, and I'm
Mm,
intrigued to see where that goes.
yeah, I'm more
But
intrigued by that one. I don't think it'll
yeah,
be the same level as Lighthouse, but it obviously has this
mm,
sort of historical kind of roots in his sort of
mm,
work. So I'm more
yeah,
curious, I would say.
yeah, because I feel like the Lighthouse was like he was very precise with how that was made, whereas The Northman looks like the cast looks great, but
Mm,
everything else looks like he's kind of taken a bit more not time with it, but a bit more like loose freedom with it. But
yeah.
there is one specific film I'm really excited for, and that is Everything Everywhere All at Once, starring Michelle Yeoh.
Okay. I don't think I know that
Um,
one.
so funnily enough, I don't. It's like a weird. I don't know much about it because like even the trailer is very vague. But it's directed by the Daniels who did Swiss Army Man. Um,
Yeah.
and that film again, I saw that in the cinema back in 2016, and I was just like, "What the hell is this? I love it. It's just so weird." And this film is like a comedy action film about the multiverse, but focusing on just a normal, everyday woman called Evelyn, played by
Okay.
Michelle Yeoh, and she starts encountering like other versions of herself and starts gaining their powers. Like in this world, she's just an ordinary person, but like in a different world, she like might be a master chef or a she might have really she might know martial arts or something.
Okay.
It just looks bonkers because the poster has googly eyes all over it. It
Right.
it just looks nuts, and I heard a ton of really good reviews coming from South by Southwest, and I'm
Mm.
just really excited to see it because it looks like it could be doing the multiverse thing, but in a really unique and creative way that we might see in Multiverse of Madness, but
Okay.
I don't know. Neither have come out yet, but I'm still looking forward to both of those films. But
Mm.
Everything Everywhere All at Once,
Okay.
like my interest is like at peak
That's the
curiosity at
one
the
that you're
moment.
really sort of
Yeah.
interested to see. Okay. Interesting. I'll add that to my watch list because I'm doing my whole thing of not watching trailers, so I don't want to
Mm,
watch the trailer. But you're saying
mm.
it's going to be good. I'll trust you, Aaron, on that one.
I'm going off of what people at South by Southwest are saying. So if it turns out to be bad, blame them.
I'll bring it back to them. I'll
Yeah,
ask
just
some
bring it
people
all
on
the way back.
Twitter.
Oh
Okay,
dear.
nice. There's some good picks there. I think it's going to be an interesting year for film. I think. I mean, last
Mm,
year was pretty good.
yeah.
Obviously, a lot more on demand, but I think hopefully a lot more cinematic releases this year.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
improve. Okay, this is the question that I'm always curious to see what people say on this channel.
Okay.
Since it's popcorn chat, you know, may as well bring it back to popcorn. I'm curious now, what is your favourite flavour or the best way that you have popcorn, be it the cinema or at home? How do you have it?
I haven't had cinema. I haven't had cinema. Wow. I haven't had popcorn for quite a long time because whenever I've gradually gone more and more off of having popcorn at the cinema. I think
Okay.
mainly because I'm so focused on the screen that when it gets stuck in my teeth, I'm now focused on that,
Yeah.
and I can't concentrate on both at the same time. That being said, though, my go-to if I got back into ordering popcorn at the cinema or if I just buy it is sweet because
Sweet.
I have a major sweet tooth. And whenever I go with like my dad and he orders salty and sweet, and I end up picking out all the salty ones, I'm like, oh, I just wanted the sweet ones, and it's been corrupted by the salty ones. But for me, give me sweet, or even like the ones that Butterkiss do, where they're like covered in
Toffee
caramel.
popcorn.
Top, yeah, that is
Ooh,
also really nice as well.
that is really good.
So either of the anything sweet,
Okay.
pretty much I'm on board with.
Do you like chocolate popcorn? Have you tried that?
I've not tried chocolate popcorn, but I do love chocolate,
It
so
does work.
I'm intrigued to. I know they've done a new one where it's like chocolate orange, and
Ooh.
I'm intrigued by that because chocolate
Mm,
orange is one of my favorite types of chocolate. So I might give that a go. I might delve back into popcorn just to try that.
excellent. And I hope you do a video on it as well. I'll watch that one.
Yeah, 20-minute long video essay about why chocolate orange popcorn is so important and why everyone needs to try it.
Oh my god, that would be great. Please do it.
Don't worry, I will. I will. Don't know
Excellent.
when, but expect to see it on my channel. That will be the April Fool's video.
There you go. You got it
Yeah.
sorted. Right, so we've got one final question for you, Aaron. You might have touched on it a little bit earlier when I asked you about what you wish you knew at the beginning, but do
hmm
you have any tips for someone who's thinking about doing their own sort of film review channel? What would you say to them?
I would say the best tip I can think of in regards to starting your own channel is, again, that whole thing of just doing something you feel comfortable doing. Because, again, over the years, because I've been around long enough on YouTube, um, I've seen a lot of people who start their channel and you can tell that they don't quite know their own style, so they're
Hmm.
just copying Chris Stuckman or Jeremy Johns or the stuff that is popular. Because it's
Yep.
all, again, if you're someone who tries to get, you know, reviews for big popular films out as quickly as possible, that's fine, that's your thing. But if you start copying someone and saying that's your style, people are very easily going to pick up on it. I
Oh yeah.
remember, I think it was, funny enough, bringing it back to Swiss Army Man, in 2016, I saw this, I can't remember the name of the YouTube channel, but this young kid did a review of Swiss Army Man. But this person who had seen the review had edited his review together with Chris Stuckman's, and he says the exact same thing in the exact same way. There is
Wow.
nothing different. He even gives it the same rating. It's I've noticed this a few times, but you get a lot of people who don't even watch certain films.
Really?
Yeah, they don't watch certain films and they just copy. It's like, oh, Chris Stuckman's done a review. I'm just going to quickly watch it and repeat everything he said because it might do well. And because his review's only just come out, I can maybe cash in on it.
Mm.
Um, so I've seen some people do that. Not everyone does it, it's a very small minority. But I feel like that is the one important thing. Do what you want to do, make it unique. I feel that's something, especially all the people I talk to in the YouTube film community, even if they do similar sort of videos, you can tell they put their own spin on it. Like, you have your own way of doing it, and it works for you. I have my own way of doing it.
Yeah.
It works for me. Uh, Someone else, Luke, he has his own way of doing it as well. And again, I can't do what he does. You can't. Maybe it works for
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
specific person. Um, so do what you want to do. Do it in the way that you feel comfortable doing. Um, and if you are just starting out, don't just resort to copying the popular people. If you want to say something about a popular film, do it in a way that suits you,
Mm.
because people want to see what you have to think about it, not what a regurgitated version of what someone else thinks of it, because that's just plagiarism at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's great to reference, like maybe watch some people. If you're not too
Oh yeah.
sure on your own opinion, you can obviously like
Mm,
have some time to mull over it and get your thoughts together. But
mm.
yeah, straight up plagiarism. It's never
Oh
cool.
yeah. There have been multiple times actually where I've done a review of a film or I've talked about a film in a video, and maybe if there is a specific point I can't get across that well with my own words, I might just say in the video, um, if you want to know, if you want a better idea of that, go and check out Chris Stuckman's video because he says it better than I do. And I think I've done
Yeah.
that one or two times with my videos where I've linked to someone else's video, especially if I'm doing just a general review. I'll get my main thoughts across. But in terms of like a deeper analysis, if someone's already worded it as best as they can, and you
Yeah.
can't, find your own way of wording it, I just send them to them because
Mm,
they will word it 10 times better than I ever will. Um, so
yeah.
it's finding that balance of doing your own thing, but knowing how to borrow from other people without straight up copying.
Yeah. No, yeah, no, I think that's a brilliant tip. Yeah, thank you very much, Aaron. Thank you for coming on the channel. It's lovely to have you here. Where can people find you on the internet?
Um, if you go to the YouTube channel Aaron at the Movies, I do videos on there. I do video essays. I just mainly talk about any film that I want to talk about, whether it be a new release or an old release. I also do monthly roundup videos of everything I've watched. So I still do I still talk about current releases in that sense. Um, I'm on Twitter as well and Instagram. And I do have my own website as well if you want to see stuff I've done outside of my YouTube channel, like more creative stuff. So yeah, all of it's linked on my YouTube channel in some shape or form. You can, if you go to that channel, you can find it all there.
Amazing. Yeah, I'll make sure to link it down below so everyone can go and check out your channel. But thank you for joining me, Aaron. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching.
Cool.